Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fatima's World. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Most importantly, thank you for talking back at me. For those of you who are new here, the new subscribers, my name is Fatima. My names are simply Fatima Mohammed Bashir, the popular face behind Fatima's World. Fatima's World basically is about families, the happenstances in the society. Sometimes we digress, look for trending issues on social media, air our opinion. Fatima's opinion is not final, so she throws it out there, and then all my viewers and my subscribers have a right to come in my inbox, and then we judge. Sometimes you have something that you want to talk about, you need an opinion, something bothering you, something that is eating you up, and you don't really want to talk to people because you don't trust them. Rush into my DM. Like the story I'm going to be dealing with today is a story that was sent to me in box. It's a true life story, and it resonates with a lot of women that I know. So today I would be talking about a very serious and sensitive topic. This topic affects a lot of people around the world. I like to term it bound by fear. Oof. That's the reality of domestic abuse. You're bound by fear, the realities of domestic abuse. And so today, my focus will be on a story I got in my inbox, like I told you. A woman called me, sent me a very lengthy message, and I said, "Can I speak to you?" She said, "Yes." I'm not a counselor. I do not counsel people. But I think somehow I am gifted to learn my opinion and let other people say theirs. The woman says she has been married for almost 18 years, and she has been enduring terrible abuse from her husband for those 18 years. There are 4 kids. The eldest is almost 18, and she lives in constant fear daily. Her story is one of courage and survival in a situation that has become a nightmare. It is so sad. And that's why I want to approach this story with care. I want to approach it with a lot of empathy and respect for anyone who has lived through this experience or who is currently experiencing something similar. My goal today is to raise awareness, create support, help those who might feel alone, and inform my listeners on how they can support victims of domestic violence. I will be breaking today's topic into segments. And so I'll start by saying segment 1. Segment 1 is understanding the cycle of abuse. You need to be able to understand what an abuse is for you to be able to appreciate what the women go through, women that are abused. So I will start by explaining the broader context of domestic abuse. Abuse often follows a circle. The tension will build up, an abusive incident will occur, and then there's a period of reconciliation or calm. But the circle keeps the victims trapped. This pattern is especially powerful in long-term marriages, where no partner feels, the urge to want to talk because of the controlling effect. And the abuser completely feels in control, and he knows how to manipulate their partner's emotions. In this woman's case, small things were usually the spark. Any perceived sight of disagreement, it can trigger the husband's abusive behavior. That unpredictability, you cannot predict him. He is so very unpredictable. It's terrifying. He lives in constant fear. She walks on eggshells in her home. She's always on the edge. She's even scared to even think about leaving for many people. This circle of fear is overwhelming, and it makes it very impossible to escape. So many of you will ask, a man has been beating you for 18 years. Are you mad? Why are you still there? You see stories of women who have died in the hands of these narcissistic abusers. Please, I do not want us to criticize these women or be judgmental. I told you today, we must deal with this issue empathically. We must empathize with them. It is one that calls for a lot of support, prayers, and for us to be a place of succor to this woman. So, my segment 2. The segment 2 is the psychological toll of living in fear. Do you know what it means for you to die severally in your head? You're not too sure what you will do that will spark him off. I told you earlier, I said he is very unpredictable. She says, for as little as you have served my food, where is the water to wash my hand? Like he cannot walk to the sink. And she said something like, oh, sorry, I am quickly turning something on the fire. He starts to abuse her. Like I'm talking to you, your friend is talking, can't you put the phone off? He starts to abuse her. He can come in and say, I want to watch something on TV and she's trying to disagree. You can trigger him. So do you know what it is to psychologically live in fear? In a home, you're trapped. So let's talk about her mental and emotional state of everybody who is being abused. For anyone who has spent years living in fear, it can erode their sense of self-worth. Once you live in fear all the time, especially in a marriage, you just feel, I don't want to leave. And what do I know that I will meet today? That's a Yoruba adage that they used to cancel people. When you say this man is bad, you leave him. That man is bad, you leave him. Which day will you not find a man to settle with? So we begin to suck in all of the abuses. It destroys our sense of self-worth. And so it leads them into believing that they don't deserve any better. That maybe this is my lot in life. Maybe this is my kadara. Maybe I don't deserve better. This woman that I'm talking about says she's very terrified that leaving her husband could endanger her life. So in her own case, it's not just a narcissist. It's not just an abuser. He's obsessed. They painted a scenario of one of the scenarios when he beat her up. He beat her up and then she woke up. After several hours, they were giving her blood. And then he'll be crying, please, I love my wife. I don't want my wife to die. I don't want my life. He has stabbed her severally. She's got stabs all over her body. There's a portion of her hair that cannot grow again because he pulled off her braid and that pulled off with a scalp. I'm talking of a woman who has been severely battered, shattered, tormented on every side. And then she now thinks that, oh, if I leave him, he will look for me and he will kill me. Obsession. Imagine the anxiety she lives with. Imagine the fear. Imagine the isolation she feels every day. People in situations like hers, they often have very few places to turn to. They may feel ashamed. They feel trapped. Or they feel like nobody will believe them, especially if the husbands are very quiet. If you live with a narcissist who is a very quiet man, you are in soup. Because everybody is going to believe that it is you. The man is a very good man. Very quiet. Very this. And so for many others who are abused, people have cut them off. Family and friends have cut them off. So they are truly alone. You know why? Because if every time it happens, they'll come back and say, I'm leaving him this time. And when you are there fighting, you must leave. You're a stupid man. How could you? She's going back. She has gone back. And when you ask her, are you not tired of being damaged physically, emotionally, spiritually, and otherwise? She says, because of my children. Listen up. You see those children that you're bothered about? They would live their lives. They will live better than when you're even there. This woman has 4 boys. They will live their lives without you in it, and nothing will happen. It is time for you to start to live for yourself. And so it takes me to the third segment, the impact on the supposed children that you do not want to leave. She has a son, her eldest son is 17 plus. And for his entire life, he has watched his father abuse his mother. This has taken an incredible toll on all the children, but on her first child especially. Living with that kind of trauma can leave very deep scars. That child already has psychological problems. That child needs to see a doctor, a counselor immediately. Because what he has been exposed to is going to destroy his own relationship, will destroy his sense of self-worth, and a sense of trust in others. When kids are exposed to this kind of environment, they may internalize it and struggle with guilt, with anger, or even a need to protect their mother, the abused one. This can be a very heavy burden for a child, especially a teenager, to carry. Sadly, many children of abusive homes end up feeling alone or developing lasting emotional struggles. She told me that there was one day the husband got up to beat her, and the son was very, very angry. He took a knife, faced his father and said, "Are you not tired of beating my mother?" He beat her helplessly. He has stabbed her. He has broken a bottle on her head. He's done a lot of things. He has macheted her. So the boy stood up to his father. "Are you not tired of beating my mother? I'm going to kill you." And so, my darling sister, I'm going to say this to you. I didn't say this to you when we were talking. I'm going to tell you now. 2 things will happen to your child. Your child has built up a lot of resentment. One day, your husband will be sleeping, not even on the day that he beats you, and your child will get up and stab him to death. That scenario, you quickly take up the blame because you don't want your child to go to prison. Is that what you want? Those children are damaged already, as it were. They have seen violence. Her husband doesn't stop beating her except his blood. And then he starts to beg her. And every time they have an issue, everything that he buys for her, he takes it back. He renders her practically naked. He takes her phone. Sometimes you see him chatting on her phone. He just wants to be in charge. He wants to be in total control of her life. My darling sister, take your husband to the psychiatric hospital. He needs to see a psychiatrist immediately. He's got a deep problem. And for you, your days of death are so near. You are going to die. You are going to die. And so some people have wondered, why is she not living? Why is she still there? We'll bring me to segment 4. Barriers to living an abusive marriage. The truth is, living is often the hardest and most dangerous part. Research shows that abusers are most likely to escalate violence when their partner tries to leave. This woman knows that. She knows that her husband is obsessed. And she fears that he can kill her totally if she tries to escape. So she's staying, terrified, but hoping to survive. I've got bad news for you, darling. You're not likely to come out alive. Get up. Take your life in your hands. Look at him eyeball to eyeball. Eyeball to eyeball. And the stupid man will start crying, "I love my wife. I'm begging you. I love my wife." How do you love a woman that you beat so mercilessly? There was one time he broke her hand. She has a bad hand that has iron in it. Because she was in the hospital for about 6 months. She was in Igbobi. And so I realized that it's not just the fear that keeps people in abusive relationships. Many women are dependent on their abusers. Societal stigma. They don't want to leave their marriages. They don't want people to say, "Oh, they are serial married people." And then pressure from family. Even a lack of safe options. This woman's fear isn't irrational after I spoke to her. It is real, and she's not alone. Thousands of people live in situations like this every day. Very sad. It brings me back to segment 5. Legal and community support for survivors. You heard me right. I said survivors because a lot of people actually die. You remember that popular gospel artist? Nobody knew that she was being abused. She died. I know a lot of women who have died. So, what kind of support can survivors turn to in our society? Thankfully, many places now offer legal protections like restraining orders and shelters where victims can find a safe place to stay. There are social workers, counselors, and advocates trained to help people live abusive relationships as safely possible. But not everyone has access to these resources. And sometimes the systems is not enough. There's community support. It can be life-changing. I encourage more friends to get up, family get up, colleagues, listen to them, believe in them, offer help without judging them. It would make a world of difference. For someone in need, it's a reminder of why we need strong, compassionate support network for survivors. You know what they say about women supporting women? This is the time to prove it. So, how do you help someone who is in an abusive relationship? If you know someone who may be in a similar situation, the best thing you can do is be there for them, listen to them. Like I said, do not be judgmental. Offer them help discreetly. Safety is critical. Abusers often monitor their partners closely. In our own situation, the man wants to go everywhere with her. You think it's love? No. He knows that she will speak to somebody that will tell her to leave. So he wants to follow her everywhere. They monitor their partners closely. So any outreach should be done carefully. You can provide resources like hotlines, shelters, and counseling. But it's essential to let them make the decision. It is crucial. They must make the decision themselves. They must get to a level where the woman will say, enough is enough, I am leaving. Yes, your support and your patience can give them the strength that they need to seek help when they are ready. You cannot do so much. You know what they say, don't cry more than the period. I've told you, people who are in an abusive relationship, even if they've spoken out that they want help, they really can't seem to leave. Only God knows what ties them. We can't be encouragers, and we can't give hope for survivors. For anyone listening to me today who may be experiencing abuse, please know that you're not alone. Fatima is here for you. And there are other people who are willing to help you. We will help you source for resources. We will provide safety. We would link you up to a community of survivors who understood what you're going through. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to put your safety first. Your life is valuable, and there are people ready to support you. Don't fool yourself that, oh, my children, like I said earlier on, those children will survive with or without you. For adventure, you died at childbirth having the last term. Will your children not survive? They will. Have that mentality. Be very selfish. Think about you first. We have to look for how to include some other help for these people. There are hotlines. Google, go online, domestic violence hotline, counseling resources hotline, legal aid contacts. Get their contacts for them. Let them help them. We cannot continue to live in a society where the abusers kill their victims in the name of love. Thank you for listening to me today. I told you it's a very important and sensitive episode. So if today's discussion resonated with you, or if you'd like me to support you, please share this episode, leave a comment, reach out to me. Together, we can create a more understanding, supportive, and safe world for everybody. Thank you for staying with me on Fatima's World. This approach will keep our conversation respectful and focused on understanding, helping, and supporting the victim. I'm looking forward to your comments in the inbox. I'm running there, run them. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.